There is growing concern over the persecution of Christians in Nigeria. Some of the outrage is coming from an unlikely source. Political comedian Bill Maher, a frequent critic of the Catholic Church, said this week on his HBO show that the persecution of Christians in Nigeria is a genocide attempt. He also was critical of the media for not covering the story more. He noted that since 2009 in Nigeria, more than 100,000 Christians have been killed, with 18,000 churches burned. The culprits are largely violent Islamists like Boko Haram. For more, we turn to Father Don Bosco Onyalla, editor-in-chief for ACI Africa. Father Don Bosco, thank you so much for joining us. Remind us again what is happening to the faithful in Nigeria, and what are some examples of the persecution of Christians?
Thanks for having me, Veronica. The news we get and report about Nigeria is not good news. Violence has continued to increase against Christians, and even specifically against Catholic priests. So we have reports from the International Society of the Civil Liberties and Rule of Law, Inter-Society, published last month in August and updated the last week. And it indicates that the number of kidnappings and even killings of priests have increased. But even the Catholic bishops in the country have indicated that the numbers have not reduced from way back in 2015. They're talking about 145 priests killed. So the Inter-Society says the numbers would even be more. So that's one form of persecution. But in the same report that they shared with us a couple of days ago, they indicate that areas in Nigeria that are predominantly Christian have military officers at the top positions, Muslims. So again, you can see that the government seems to be targeting, to Islamize the country. And then also they indicate as a concern that there is a camp, a village called a jihadist village that has, in a way, exiled 850 Christians. So they are demanding that these Christians be freed. So we have a combination of targeted killings, kidnappings, and imprisonment, where these Christians in this village by the Islamist group in a forest are not allowed to say prayers, are not allowed to pray. So this is a concern that the Inter-Society is making, but also Catholic bishops in the country have continually made.
Truly tragic news, and you alluded to a little bit about the government. How is the government responding, and is anything being done to address the violence?
On its part, the government has consistently denied that there are targeted persecutions against Christians, and that they have said usually that the violence is part of the criminality in the country, it's part of the larger terrorism in the Sahel region, it's part of banditry or intercommunal conflicts. So there is, on the part of government, denial. But church leaders have continually called the government to act.
Could the remarks of someone like Bill Maher, again, who is normally critical of the church, bring attention to the matter and actually help the faithful there?
The answer is yes. This is very helpful. His voice actually is a response to what Christians in Nigeria have been lamenting about over and over again. That the world seems to have focused on Gaza and the war in Ukraine and forgotten conflicts in Africa.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights from down on the ground. Father Don Bosco Onyalla, editor-in-chief for ACI Africa, thank you.
Thanks for having me.